I think there's a big opportunity for alternative intelligence applications to disrupt the alternative accommodation space. Specifically, if you look at the difference between, say, serviced apartments and hotels, in many ways serviced apartments are more attractive because you get much more space. You get a kitchen and you get more room. What's missing in serviced apartments is a layer of services that the hotels provide to you. That's the reception desk, that's the room service. Now, once you start thinking about taking artificial intelligence assistants such as Amazon's Alexa or Google's Google Assistant into that experience, into the serviced apartment or the alternative accommodation, the vacation rental holiday house, you can start delivering all of those services directly to the guest without the facilities of a hotel. So taking the Amazon example, if you put, say, an Amazon Echo Dot device into that room, you can now start ordering groceries from it. You can order room service because Amazon does restaurant delivery in many cities around the world, or it may not even have to be Amazon, it could be an alternative provider. So suddenly you open a world of opportunity up to the guest. Anything from groceries to transportation, like call your Uber, to information, to finding recipes, to translation, to converting units from imperial to metric, whatever the guest requires. So it's just the perfect device to make a guest feel at home, to expose them to a whole range of services, and to do so in a scalable way. I think there's a couple of things. The first thing is that voice is a very, very easy path of entry for the guest to interact with new services. Voice comes natural. We actually see in some testing that we've done, we see that older people, kids, are very, very familiar with using voice commands, and it comes very naturally. So it's an easy way to make this happen. The second part is we are just seeing the beginnings of what's to come. Like, I think there's thousands of skills on these platforms right now, and some of the services are starting to pop up. But I think the future holds a huge amount of promise of where we can take this, and the future is just around the corner. Lastly, I think what we discussed in the session today is the devil's in the detail, and there's a lot of details that still have to be ironed out. The sort of group of details I'd be most worried about in the short term, and I think that the industry needs to work on very, very urgently, is privacy issues. And once you start making these services available, you need a completely different layer of opt-in and consent and informing the guest of what is there. You can't just expect them to be comfortable with a device that's always listening or a device that has a camera. So there needs to be consent, there needs to be declaration that that's what's happening at the property, and there needs to be information posted. And I think there's sort of a whole layer of that will be happening in the alternative accommodation industry over the next months and years.
Yeah, when it comes to yield and revenue management in the vacation rental space, it's maturing quite a bit. Hotels and airlines were able to capitalize on yield and revenue management about 20 to 30 years ago. They're a lot larger and have bigger research and development departments, so they created internal tools to price based on supply and demand. The vacation rental industry has lagged a few decades behind for a couple reasons. One being the companies are not as large as these hotels and airlines. And secondly, vacation rentals are all unique. So they don't have the luxury of having 300 identical seats in an airplane or 300 identical rooms in a hotel. So when it comes to pricing, it's a lot more difficult in the vacation rental space. Yeah, I'm really excited about the future of revenue management. I think with the proliferation of OTAs and online bookings in the last 5 to 10 years with Airbnb, VRBO, we've seen tremendous growth, and the vacation rental industry itself is growing at a much faster rate than those of hotels and other accommodation providers. So really excited, and I just want to make sure that we work out all the legal implications in the various cities where all these vacation rentals operate. But overall, really excited about the future.